All right. All right. We're back. Actually, I don't know if you guys can hear this television. We might have to turn it down. Yeah, let's turn the microphone up. All right. Let's put the wiener mic back. Make it look like a wiener, because that's the proper way to do things. That's how you should do a microphone. Hey guys, how are you? Good to be back. It was a good break. Sean, I hope you saw my tweet to you. I sent out a tweet of a of my dinner. I actually got this like huge. I don't know what I ordered. I was just like, yeah, sure, that looks good. And I ordered it, and it was this giant plate of something. It was like, hey, have some meat, some more meat, and like a couple of eggs, and like hash browns, and bread, and chips. And I was like, what? This thing is huge. Anyway, I ate it in like 10 minutes. I was so hungry. I think I ate like eight, I don't know, like a lot of calories today. I already demolished like a full meal, like when I got back from court. When I got back from court, I brought food with me, and I just ate it all in like 5 minutes. And I was like, I'm still hungry. Yeah, Sean, go check out the photo. There's a photo on Twitter. There's a I posted it for you. I was like, this is for Sean, because he brought me lunch. So I was like, I only feel obligated that I have to show it to him. So I thought, oh, I'll show it to him. I'll do that. Hey, do you like the view? Should we do this at home? When I go home, should I buy like a bed like this and we can do live streaming from the bed? What do you think? I kind of like it. It's comfortable. I'm more comfortable here. I'm way more comfortable here than like at my desk. Way more comfortable. I like it. Do you like it? Do you like the front view? Or do you want me to go back to doing this? Where this is basically the live stream. I mean, I don't know. Let me know. Oh yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Was it yesterday? The one last night? Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, it's very kind of you. I appreciate it. I did. I ate it. So it's on Twitter. I posted it just for you. You guys like it? You guys like this? Hold on. Let me turn off the TV because I don't want to get copyrighted. They're playing an AFL game right now. Hold on. Yeah, you have to break that. Whatever the fuck that means. All right. Shut up, AFL. All right. All right. Let's do it. Hey, Alicia, how are you, my friend? I automatically went to do this, and it's because we've been doing it for years, and I was like, I should probably just do what I always do. But let's try it with the Wiener mic because it's oddly comfortable. It really is. I feel like I could be an OnlyFans person. Should we? we could do we could do like OnlyFans. I'm just kidding. There'll be no OnlyFans here. Um, don't you have it? 'Cause I'm pretty sure you've replied to me like a few times. Audio is breaking up on this, really? If the audio ends up breaking up, I'll switch it to the laptop. So if it keeps doing it, let me know. I'll just sort of do a soft intro, and then if you guys think it's still breaking up, oh, it was Leisha. I was about to say, because this is like our really good microphone. This is the one we have at home. This is actually the replacement for the one that broke. This is like we broke. No, it's not. Okay, all right. Audio is fine. Okay, cool. So what I did over the last few hours, I relaxed a little bit. I tried to chill out a little bit. I think court has been a little bit stressful for the last 3 days. And you're like, Ping, are you the one on trial? And I'm like, no, I'm not the one on trial. And they're like, well, what are you stressed about? And I'm like, well, laws, things, judicial orders, stuff like that. There's all sorts of things you have to worry about. So it's been like overthinking for like several days. Anyway, I don't want to trouble you with my problems because you're like, motherfucker, you're on holidays. It's a holiday. And I'm like, Well, it's not really. It's a work trip. It's not a holiday as such. It's a work trip. Let me see. Let me get my notes and let's get going. All right. Geez, that's bright. Let's turn that down. I don't want to blind myself. All right. You ready for this? I did 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me count how many pages we did for tonight. It's a short day at court tomorrow, so tomorrow we only have a few hours at court, so I can live stream until pretty early in the morning Australian time, I think, anyway, and I'll be fine. I can always just do 3 hours of court, come home and crash, and then Mrs. Ping's coming up from Melbourne, so I can work through the night tonight. It's not a problem. All right, how many pages do we have to go through tonight? Wait, this is not the right... Is this the right one? No, this is not the right one. I was about to say, I was like, 80 pages? I'm like, I don't remember editing 80 pages. I was like, when did this happen? Oh, okay. It's a modest amount tonight. It's not like 50 pages like last night. Last night, I think we did like about 50 pages. Tonight, we're doing about 8 pages. That's like 8 full pages. I've completely pared this back. I've taken out things that just stuff that like we're not going to talk about. It'll probably never be spoken about. It doesn't matter. It's not. It doesn't add anything. Like even if I somehow had a magic wand and was able to tell you, like it's not. It will not change what you guys need to know about the trial. It really doesn't. The stuff that you need to know about the trial is right here. The stuff that I have written here, this is the things that you need to know. Now, you may have read some of this already today in some of the Telegraph. The Age did one. Hey, good. Hello to the Age people. They were awesome. I saw them today at court. Nice people. But they give you like little snippets. They give you like a paragraph, not even that, like 2 sentences, and they somehow write an article surrounding it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give you all of it. Everything. In mostly my own words, but I have to keep to like what the truth is, so I can't edit like everything. Not allowed to. I have to sort of like you can, but you sort of got to tell like what was in front of the jury. So we've got to keep to the facts of what happened. Easiest way to do that, attribute it to the right person and tell people what they said. That's it. It's other than that, it is not that difficult. Follow the judge's instructions. That's what you need to do in life. If you ever have to go to court, follow the judge. Follow the justice. Don't piss them off. They're very nice people, but I doubt they want you in their chambers at 8:30 in the morning to discuss why you're an asshole. Probably. All right. Well, what topic should we do first? What do you guys want to hear? Let me know. So I have 2 sides of this. So today, actually, let's turn this off for a second. I'll explain what happened today. Okay, what? I eat like you're big and Dalton. I'm not normally that hungry. I don't know what's going on in while I'm in Mildura. I'm not in Mildura. That would be weird. Morwell. I don't know what's going on. I'm just hungry all the time. I don't get it. I don't eat like this at home. When I'm at home, I'm like, oh, dinner? What happened to dinner? And I'm just 1:30 in the morning. I'm like, oh, I'll just eat tomorrow. That's fine. Today, I've just been like, where is the calories? I need calories like 20 minutes. Every 20 minutes, I feel like, I don't know what's going on. Must have burned a lot of calories or something, or a lot of energy. All right. So I'll explain to you what happened in court today. Simon Patterson was the witness one. You guys already know this. Like that news came out like 12, maybe 18 hours ago. Like everyone knows this. What we heard today was 2 different questionings of that witness. So we heard first from Dr. Rogers. Some people attribute her as Nanette Rogers, but we always get told it's Dr. Rogers. So I'm going to go with that. So Dr. Rogers went first. She asked a ton of questions. I'm going to go through the ones that I've got here. And then in the afternoon, Colin Mandy. So Colin Mandy is Erin Patterson's representation. Colin Mandy had their chance to ask the witness some questions. And I have those too. So I have two sides of each, the prosecution and the defense, the accused legal. So let me know what you'd like to hear, and we can do either. I have both. So we can go, if you think you've already heard the prosecution, that's fine. I think that's the one that got quoted quite a bit today because they went first. But the defense, they were very late in the afternoon. So a lot of those stories either came out very, very late, like after 4 or 5 o'clock. I saw some of them pop up, or some of them didn't even bother. I've seen a few that just didn't update for the afternoon defense. I don't know why. Maybe they're going to do it in the morning and have like an overnight print. That's pretty cool. So, oh, you're very kind, my friend. I wish we had a bigger font. It says, for another gigantic meal. I really appreciate it. I think if I thought about food right now, I'd throw up. Really, that stupid thing I ordered was just so huge. I'm probably gonna be sick all night. But maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll need more calories. That and my legs are stuffed. My legs are ruined. Like not the top part of my legs. My top part of legs. I don't miss leg day. I never miss leg day. But I sometimes miss calf day. I'm not very good with the calves. But it's my shins. My shins on the front of my legs are absolutely ruined. Ruined. That, you know, like when you walk and you have no, like, it's like there's nothing there. Like when you walk, it just like that. It's there's no like muscle move like this. When you move it, it flexes. It's just like when I walk, I feel like I'm walking on concrete. They don't flex and move. I don't know. Maybe I need more cardio in my workouts. Maybe I need a lot more cardio, a lot more treadmill. But I appreciate it. I will eat in the morning most likely. Oh, Alicia says you should write notes. Okay, so I can comment on this very, very briefly for Alicia before we get started, because when we get started, we're just going to go straight through. I don't want to stop and start. I have several different sets of notes. The notes I tell you guys are like edited down show notes, legalized notes. I have other notes that are for me. They're for Ping. They're for when we get out of trial. They're things like observations, things I think. When I hear this, I thought that. This and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like they're things that I already know about. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. Or, okay, that's different than what I thought. Those type of things. I am writing those down because it's such a long trial. We may get to the end of the 6 weeks, and if I don't write it down, I'm going to be like, wait, what happened? What happened in those first few days? I don't know. When did that, like, did I think that? I need like a tape recorder. But I have been keeping track each day. So each day I have 2 sets of notes up on my screen, and I write down my like authentic copy, and then I have a copy over here that's like my views, and analysis and stuff like that. I legally cannot show you that other copy at this time. When we get a verdict, then I can do that kind of stuff, but it's for later. So just yes, I am doing that, Leisha. So for Leisha that wanted to know, yes, we are doing that. Just can't do it right now. Okay. All right. So did you guys say what you wanted? Did you want defense or prosecution? Why does my mouse not work? There we go. Did anyone say? Everyone calls it stress eating. Then for beers, I haven't had it. Actually, we got some free beers with our stay here, but I haven't had one yet. I haven't had a beer just yet. I will. probably tomorrow night when Mrs. Ping comes up, I'll get when I don't have to work on Saturday, I'll get sloshed on Friday. I don't drink very often, and I don't drink when I'm working. Is it back? Are we back? How did that? Did I touch that? I don't think I did. I don't think I did touch that. All right, can you guys hear me? It went out. Yeah, I don't. All right, fine. I said we're going to start with Colomandy SC, the defense. So this is a cross-examination of Simon Patterson. That's what we're going to start with. I want to start with this because I don't think there's been a ton of there's been some coverage, but I think because it was so late in the day, it sort of got somewhat swept over by a lot of people. Okay. So we're going to start with that. So it's the cross-examination. And to start his address, he says, I'm going to cover some of the territory that's already been covered. So he was trying to say it's his job to basically still, even though we already have talked about this earlier today, we're still going to go over it just to be fair to both sides, I'm guessing, just so they both have that same information on record. And it says, he just goes on to say, sorry, I don't mean to cough. I don't want to be the coughing person. He goes on to say, a lot of it's already been covered today, and hopefully not too repetitively. So he's saying he doesn't want to be in repetition with his questioning. And so he clarifies some things which we heard earlier in the day. And he clarifies that the evidence of Simon Patterson that was given on the stand earlier in the day, he says you met Erin through work at Monash City Uni in the 2000s. Is that right? He says yes, that's correct. And then he says, was she there as an RSPCA representative? And he's like, yes, because we already had dealt with this. And he said, did you, as you came to know her, understand that she had a love of animals? So he's asking, did you understand that Erin had a love of animals? And he's like, oh yeah, yes, I think. That was his answer. Yes, I think. And he said, she's always loved animals. Okay. We've learned a lot about Erin today. She's very intelligent. She's multi-qualified, and she loves animals. That's sort of the things we've learned today. Multi-qualified. She did all these different courses at accounting. She worked in air traffic control. She undertook like a veterinary certification at one point. She would get bored in life, and she would sort of fill her need for knowledge with these type of courses. So his evidence was that she often educated herself. She would find these topics something that she found interesting, and she would educate in these areas. So they listed several earlier. We can go back. I can read them to you later on. And then they go on to say, you told us about those, and then subsequently there were also some studies she undertook. So they're talking about what I just told you, the studies. And both of you during the course of your relationship had a love of travel. And he replies, yes, they traveled quite a bit. Yes, they traveled. It was quite good. And they said, you traveled extensively together. He says, yes. Including overseas as a family on a couple of occasions. Simon says, yeah, probably more than a couple. He says, we've had a few overseas trips over this time. And then they go to a area that they've focused on a couple of times, which is their post-separation period. So their post-separate... What? It's on. How are we muted? What? Guys, if you're muting your own audio, I'm gonna murder you. We can't be muted. Oh, I know what happened. It's okay. Can you guys hear me? All right. As long as you can hear me, the audio is up. Now we're muted. I don't understand. I didn't touch it. Did I touch it? I didn't touch the microphone, right? I was just sitting here reading the notes. Did I accidentally tap it with the phone? All right, fine. Oh, it's gonna be a long night. Maybe we're gonna have to put it over here. Fine. Stay there. Stay there, and we'll talk. Okay, fine. We'll try it this way so I don't touch it. All right, fine. We'll go back. So, okay. Post-separation, post-2015, I was trying to tell you, this is a time period that they often call back to. And there's a few different time periods that they often talk about. One of them is post-2015. This is when Simon and Erin separated for good. It wasn't like some of their previous separations where they separated for some period of time. I think it was described as like from a few weeks to 6 months. It could be quite a range. So they like to call back to this period quite frequently. Post-separation, post-2015, you went on many family holidays together during that time. He says, yes, we did. South Africa, yes. Botswana, yes. It might have been the same trip, and he goes, yeah. Darwin, yeah. So they went to Darwin together. Adelaide, yes. New Zealand, yes. And South Australia, and he replies, yes. And he said all of this was post 2015 and after the separation, post the separation. And he says, yes, it was. Okay. And then he says, the family had gone on these holidays even post separation, Erin, Simon, and their children. And he said there'd been a family trip post separation, and he said, yeah. And then he said, okay, yeah. And he says to Africa, to Southern Africa. And he goes, yes, again, as a family, that is, the children, he asked, was it the children and you and Erin? And he said, yes. So they went to Southern Africa. They talk about, after you came back from that trip, there was an attempt to reconcile between the two of them. And he says, yes. And then they go on to say, but it wasn't a successful reconciliation attempt. So they're saying that they tried to make it work, but it didn't, and that's what they're asking. And he says, correct. It didn't work out. So that was one of the parts that I thought you would find interesting. That they traveled quite extensively even after the separation, and that even at one point after one of their trips to Southern Africa, there was a type of reconciliation attempt between them, but it never eventuated at the end. Yeah, so that's one of the bits I thought you guys would like. And that was that. That was a cross-examination this afternoon from Colin Mandy, SC. I didn't do too much on that because there's quite a lot that just needed to be edited out, and a ton of it just wasn't worth the effort. I don't not at least not right now. I don't think it's worth it. I think it's easier to stay on the side of good than jail. Do you know what I mean? It's much easier to stay with the Halo than to go to the jail. So I think it's just much better if we do it like that. All right, but we've got some better stuff from this morning from Dr. Rogers, or Dr. Roger, and that's Nanette Roger, and we call her Dr. Roger. So, all right. And she's asking Simon some questions. And she says, so they're talking about when Erin presented to hospital with the suspected death cap poisoning, because the other four, the members that went to that guest lunch at her house, had all gone to hospital. Eventually, Erin also presented at a hospital, and these questions are in relation to that period when she was in. That thing really does turn off really easily, doesn't it? Unfortunately, it's the best microphone we have. It really likes to mute itself. It really does. Okay, so these questionings are about when Erin was in the hospital, and Dr. Rogers says, "Did you notice anything of the health? No, about the health or otherwise, and with Erin while you were in the room with her." So she's asking Simon, did you see anything that would indicate like ill health, some sort of like severe diarrhea or severe dehydration? Did you notice anything that might point in that direction? But he says, well, I guess. And then they say, he says, well, I guess there was no sign to me of diarrhea or vomiting. And I guess by that I mean I wasn't with her when she was in the toilet. She went to the toilet once, not the frequent toileting that she had been explaining to me. And that she'd been experiencing before. And, it seemed like kind of, he explained it in this way, like a normal kind of way you would work your way to the toilet in a hospital when you're connected to hospital drips and other machinery and stuff like that. So how a normal person would probably get to a bathroom. And he explains a little bit further here after this explanation, there didn't seem to be any urgency to it. So he's saying that it's not like she was running to the bathroom. Guys, be careful with your descriptions of anything. Anything like suggesting, just like anything suggesting anything, you can't. You must self-quarantine. Like, please don't be accusatory is the word I'm going to use. You can't be like, I'm just going to give you an example. Let's talk about an American case just for 1 second. Let's talk about Rex Heuermann. You know Rex Heuermann. He's the guy, Long Island serial killer. Potentially, he's accused as well. You can't go around and say Rex Heuermann is a murderer. He definitely did it. Oh, we got him this time. He's X, Y, and Z. Apply that to this case. Okay? You can't. If you want this live chat to stay open and you don't want me to just shut it down and just have a live stream, you can't be accusatory. Accusatory is a word they use a lot in some of the guidelines for reporting. And I am reporting to you. And unfortunately, this is my live chat. Even if YouTube owns it, it's still my channel. So I am responsible for all of you. Everything you post, it's a reflection on me. So no, you can't even use alleged. You can say she's alleged of these crimes, the ones she's facing for trial right now, but you can't say anything else. Okay? You can't say any other descriptor. Okay, we're all on the same page. It's okay. It's all right. We'll get there. Just got to be careful. Got to make sure it's a fair trial, right? We don't want a mistrial. We don't want anything like that. We want to stick by the rules. You want Ping to stay in the media room. You want me to like keep giving you information because they will kick me out in a second. I guarantee it. The first thing they'll do is just strip you of any access. So be good. Just listen to the information. There's time later on after the trial. We can play analysis game. We can play analysis game later, okay? We can do that at another time. This is just for like absorbing information. Okay. So he says, by that I mean, obviously I wasn't with her when she was in the bathroom or toilet, in the toilet. When she went to the toilet once, not the frequent toileting that she'd been telling me about, or that she'd said she'd experienced before. And, you know, it seemed like a normal kind of way you work your way to the toilet in a hospital when you're connected to a drip and all that. And he says, connected to a drip and all that kind of stuff. So medical equipment and things like that. He said there didn't seem to be any urgency to her needing the bathroom. I don't know what that means. It's up for the defense and prosecution to talk about at some point. I don't know. And he says, you know, no urgency, I suppose. Okay. Okay, so while in the hospital, while Erin was in the hospital, but also the children were in the hospital at Monash. It's a very touchy subject. We have to be very careful how we word things, okay? So if it doesn't sort of make grammatical sense, there's a reason behind it. So just remember that. And they say, they ask him, did you stay overnight or did you travel back home and then go back to Monash? And he says, no, I stayed in the room with the children. And then he says, on that morning, there was a time, and they ask him, on that morning, was there a time when you and Erin and the children were together? And he says, yes, we were together quite a bit. And then they ask him, did the children mention a particular topic? And then he says, I think you might be referring to the topic of mushrooms and eating mushrooms. And they said, yes, that's what they're referring to. And they said, what did the child say? They said the topic the child raised was the issues of the child that doesn't like eating mushrooms. And they said a little bit earlier today that it was well known within the family that this child didn't like mushrooms, didn't like eating mushrooms. And they said it was well known within the family unit. And they said like they asked him to continue, then say what happened, like where did this lead to? And it said, he says, so Erin, I guess, Erin said that sometime in the past, and he said he wasn't exactly sure when, he said that, I think it jumped. Actually, I think I cut something out and it doesn't make sense. Sorry. Okay, so we'll skip to this bit. They said they did do a taste test and that she cooked muffins and then she had dehydrated some mushrooms and put different amounts in different mushrooms in the muffins, 1 gram, 2 gram, 3 grams, and did sort of a blind taste test. She did a blind taste test with the child. And he said it was sort of something like 1 gram, 2 gram, 3 grams, and nothing. Like, so one type of muffin had none. And he goes, it's like a type of control. And he said one of them had no mushrooms in it. And he said they all found it interesting that the child actually preferred the muffin that did have some mushrooms in it. And he says, I can't remember if it was 1 gram or 2 grams, but the child didn't prefer the muffin that had no mushrooms in it at all, the control. And then I have to skip a bit due to redaction. And they ask him, had you ever known Erin to dry mushrooms? And he says, no, I don't think. He said, I'll put it like this. I'll put it in this way. It felt like it was news to me that she dehydrated food. So he didn't know really beforehand that point that she'd done this type of thing. And that she had any interest in dehydration of any type of food, not just mushrooms, anything. And then they ask him, was it something that she did when you lived together or you can't remember? And he says, no, she didn't dehydrate food when we lived together. So when Simon and Erin were together and they lived, in a family home, she never did this. Sorry, it is late here. It is late. So I thought you guys might find that point very interesting from today. What does it mean? I don't know. We have another 5.5 weeks of trial. I'm sure someone will tell us eventually. It's like the first witness. We have no idea yet. I think everyone needs to have a very open mind. We've heard from one person. We've got like 150 others to go. So we're bound to get various information, various different stories, various different, antidotes. Do they all mean something? Do they not mean something? It's not for us to decide. The one thing I tried to explain to you the other night is, even though this information is able to be told to you, this information is not for you. This information is actually for the jury. So in the way it works, right? My notes are not considered evidence. They're just considered my version of what I heard. Does that make sense to you? The evidence is what happens in the court in front of the jury. This is my interpretation from when I listened to the courtroom process. So you can't take what I say as any evidence as such. It is my interpretation of what happened today. So that's the way you have to look at it. You can't look at it like this is 100% fact or this is evidence and this means something. What if I got it wrong? What if I rearranged it or made things closer together or something? Do you know what I mean? It's an interpretation based on what I heard that was said in front of the jury. So the actual evidence is Simon answering those questions. It's his evidence to the jury, speaking in front of the jury, being asked questions on the witness stand. Just want to make that very clear. All right. So we've already done quite a few pages already. It's been pretty good. I feel like some other days will have a much deeper like things I can tell you. Today had a lot of difficulties for reporting. I won't mention what they are. I'll just tell you that a lot of it had to be chopped out, and that's just due to just what you have to do. So in Australia, I'll explain it a little bit to you. In the USA, often when you get documents and things like that, they're pre-redacted, right? So you've seen that when you've got like sort of like a FOIA request a lot of the times. A lot of times like a Freedom of Information request, it'll be blacked out. That's like redacted, like information that's only for the court or a privacy reason or something. It'll already be chopped up and blacked out and you won't know about it. Think about the Madeline Soto case. Madeline Soto case, that had, a lot of stuff missing from the documents and stuff like that. In Australia, when you listen to these court proceedings or you get other information attached to it, it's up to the reporting journalists to understand their responsibilities and to have a fair legal sort of understanding of what is needed from them. And it's their job to make sure the information that they put out in the public is applicable to any standing act, judge's direction, law, or anything else. There's a bunch of different things that it can fall under. But it's not up to the court to do this for you. It is up to the reporting person to take these steps and understand their responsibilities. So if some days seem very short, there's reasons for this. Not that it was a short day, we're in court all day, but it's just we have to do the right thing. We have to do the right thing. And that's like sort of like an oath you take in a way. So when you join these type of court cases, whatever you do, maybe you're a court reporter or something like that. Maybe you making a podcast. Like I saw a couple of podcast people that say the guys who do. I feel bad, and I feel like I'm going to say the wrong podcast. But he's got like really long curly hair. He's got kind of hair like mine, but it's more curly and he's got blonde in it. I think he's a podcaster. I wish I knew who it was. I know they have a pretty good podcast, but I just can't remember what the title of. I'll have to ask him when I see him tomorrow. But like, it's up to them too. They'll have to do the same thing. Like everyone has to do the same thing. So it's just, you got to understand what you're doing when you go here. So yeah. Anne says, that's interesting because there's no live trial streams in Australia. Is that right? That is correct. Sometimes they do some Supreme Court live streaming. I have seen them, but they're normally for civil cases, I'm pretty sure. So it's more, the streams I've seen before are for civil type cases. Criminal cases, not that often. I'm not sure if I've ever seen one in Australia. A civil case, yes, I have. I have seen a live stream civil case, and one of the ones I can think of is, I can't remember his name now. His name is like, it was the one that happened like about 18 months ago, and it was the girl in Parliament against her alleged attacker. And they did the civil case, and they actually live streamed that one from the Supreme Court. But that was a civil undertaking, not a criminal undertaking. So a little bit different. I think that's maybe why it was live streamed. All right, let's keep going. Okay, I want to talk to you here about something we heard very early on in the day, very close to opening. Very, very close to the opening of the day. So they talk about this Signal app. I don't know if you've heard of it. I have heard of it. I've never used it personally, but I understand it's like a communication type app. You can add people and message them and things like things like that. You can sort of yeah, talk to people and have contacts and things like that. So they ask about this Signal application, and they say, is the Signal app something that enables communication between 8 particular people? And Simon replies, yes, it is. And it can be downloaded and easily used. And he goes, yes, so you download it on your phone or your computer and you can message people with it. And he says, did you have a Signal chat between you and Erin Patterson and your parents? And he says, yes, yes, that is true. And he said, so the four of you, that's the question, the four of you. And he said, yes. So this is Simon Patterson. And they ask him, when the issue arose about Erin wanting you to pay half of the school fees for the children, did she use the Signal app in relation to did she use the Signal app in relation to? Yeah, they're asking him. So there was a thing here that says that Erin wanted him to pay half of the school fees for the children, and they're asking him, did she use the Signal chat in relation to your parents? And he says, yes. After I'd responded and said, my understanding was that it wasn't appropriate for me to pay that separately to the child support arrangements that were already in place. She messaged, she addressed it to his mum and dad, but he was part of the group too. And I guess complained about the fact that I wasn't going to pay half of the school fees. And then they go on to say, was there a request for them to get involved? And then they said it's something that they had a bit of a back and forth. He describes it as a to and fro about what involved meant. But she, I think, was pretty clear. She was asking for them to get involved. That's my opinion. Yeah. So that's from Simon. He's saying that he thinks that Erin was trying to get his parents to weigh in on their disagreement over this school fee payment issue. And then it says, they ask him, how did Don and Gail respond to that request? And then he says, they responded, encouraging both of us to resolve it together with each other. Resolve it. Yeah. They ask him they ask him if he can recall a date. When did this occur? And he says, I reckon that was probably in late November 2022 or perhaps December of that year. And then they say, can I ask you some questions about the relationship with your two parents? How would you describe the relationship she had, Erin, the accused, with the three of them? And he said, they got on very well, I think. So he's saying they got on very well. And they asked, was there any particular affinity between her and one of your parents? And he says, yes. Or I'll quote him correctly here. Yeah. She especially got along well with my dad. So apparently Erin got along very well with his father. And he says, I think they shared a love of knowledge and learning. He said, and an interest in the world. I think she loved his gentle nature. And then Nanette Rogers asked again, did your parents maintain a good relationship with her through the marriage as well as through the periods of separation? And he says, yeah, mum and dad were really active in maintaining a good relationship with Erin, and I think it was mutual. So he's saying that his mum and dad did have this great. They sort of like had a good relationship, and they were very active in maintaining that relationship with each other. And he says it was mutual, so it wasn't a one-sided deal. They both wanted it. They both wanted to have this like, great family life. I'm guessing is what it leads to. So that is about 70 points from today already. We already went through it. 70 points. I would love to give you more from today, but like I said before, there are reporting obligations that we must take extremely seriously, and I value my opportunity to be here, and I value my opportunity to be part of the Supreme Court. So I take it like just super seriously, and I would rather, like the advice we were given is just, if in doubt, just don't say it. If in doubt, don't use that information. And I've erred on the side of caution heavily, because there's just some big sections where I feel like I'm dumb enough to say something stupid, and it would jeopardize the entire case. I just feel like I get carried away at times, and I think it's better if I just trim my notes down like we did tonight, and I give you like my what I saw today in court, and these are the ones that you really need to know about. So those are the points today that I think are the ones that need to be reported, and we'll see what happens. We've got a lot of court time left. There's tomorrow. We're going to be in there tomorrow from about 9 a.m. No, not 9 a.m. 10:30. So I think we have to be in there. It's every day. It's 10:30, but we're only doing, I think, a half day or something tomorrow. I didn't quite catch what they were saying about it today. I know that they had said something about Fridays were always going to be a shorter day. So I think we're going to get out about lunchtime tomorrow, which will be nice for a Friday. I think everyone's. It's been a whirlpool week. It really has. It's been crazy. Are you saying it could lead to a mistrial? Yes. I don't know if I don't know if it would lead to a mistrial as such. At least not in this particular circumstance. This particular circumstance, it would lead to not a mistrial as such. It'd lead to jail time. I guarantee it. It would not be a fine. You'd be jailed. 100%. Like I'm deadly as a heart attack. Jail time. It is that serious. So if you heard anything tonight that sounded like a bit like grammatically incorrect, just understand that it has to be done. And that's, yeah. Oh yeah, it's that serious. I promise you. I would not lie to you, and I don't lie to my viewers, and I don't make things up just to seem sensationalist. I've never done that. Yeah, it's jail time. I guarantee it. It would be years in jail, not months, not days, years, and you'd have your credentials stripped from you. You would never be allowed to cover another case, ever. And if you worked for something like a paper, you'd probably be fired. It is just, I don't know how to explain it to you other than it's just one of the most serious things to do with this type of like reporting. It's just something you have to do, and you have to take it very seriously. So I've been doing that, and trying to err on the side of caution on a lot of things. Just if I just don't feel right about it, I just won't tell you. And it's not because I want to keep information from people. I just want to do the right thing. I want to keep doing these cases. I'd like to go to another one after this. I'd like to go to do some in Melbourne later this year. There's a couple coming up that I think you all would get a lot of benefit from. And now that I am actually a cleared person for the Supreme Court, I think it would be I could probably reapply for other cases and maybe get quicker consideration. It took a while to get this underway. I'm not going to tell you any of the details of how that happens or how long that takes or anything like that. I'll just tell you that the process to be here wasn't quite easy, and it took a lot of just stuff. There was just a lot of things that had to happen and stuff like that. It wasn't like I just rocked up here in Morwell and I was like, oh, I'm going to go to the Supreme Court and, you know, cover the case. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You have to there's just stuff that you have to do. So I was very lucky. I am genuinely super appreciative of my opportunity. Super. I am beyond thankful to the court, to the Supreme Court, to Justice Beale, and to the Supreme Court team. I am thankful, very thankful. I hope I just want to do the right thing. That's all I ever want to do. I never do anything maliciously, and I always think of others. So like, I want to continue doing that. And I just want to get to the end of this particular case. We've been following it for so long. I just like it feels like we're finally here after like a long time. So it just feels like a long time waiting, almost like you've had two babies. You know, it's been like 22 months or something. So it's been a while. How are you all? Is there anything else we can talk about at the back end of this? I don't want to end the stream right now. I've got a little bit of time. Wait, what time? Wait, shit. What time is it? Oh, we could talk for a little bit. Is there any other cases? Any updates? I have not been following anything. I've been basically media blacked out. Because in trial, like you can't really. It's not like I can have court, what is it, law and crime. I can't have law and crime running on my laptop and watch the case and stuff. So I'm completely media blacked out. I haven't seen any other cases right now. So if there's anything else you guys would like to talk about, let me know and I can cut this stream and then start a new one very quickly and we can go there, because I'd like to keep this one separate and itself. Hey, is it Mez? I can't quite see the name. Can you share what the other cases are later this year in Melbourne that are of interest? I can. I think. Hold on. Let me check something. I just want to make sure it's public record about when this is going to happen and stuff. Hold on. So the one I would like to go to next is Isla Belle. So if you remember Isla Belle, actually, if you want to talk Isla Belle, let me end this live stream and start a new one. I don't think it's fair to the Erin Patterson trial if I talk about another one right now. So give me 1 minute. I'll set up a new stream and we can sort of all relax and talk about other things. Okay, 1 second. Look for the new stream. Oh, by the way, I saw some super chats come in. By the way, I didn't get to them. Alicia, thank you so much, my friend. Burnt popcorn. It is more than generous, I promise. Thank you, my friend. It's very kind. A beer for Mrs. Ping. I will do that. She'd love that. And Mr. Daniel. Hey, Daniel. What's up, brother? Here, you get one of these. Here, like one of these. There you go. Because he's my brother. There you go. By the way, tell me how you liked when we get into the new live stream. Actually, I'll wait for the new live stream. I don't want to pollute this one. I'll see you in about 2 minutes. Okay.